we are again. Now, these three things, I'm going to show you what they are. You know them. Crowd one, the crowd, and the CEO. And the reason I'm bringing them up is because it's really important. These are the three main elements that create the cause and effect of everywhere we are going. So let's start fresh now for a moment. Here they are. So remember where I left off. They had an idea, the concept, the vision, creating the 1-minute phone business that people can use to build their lives, get out of lives, and this guy can turn around and say, hey, wait a minute, we could go in a whole new direction. That's where we were. Now let's look at something, the nuts and bolts of what's really going on in here. You ready? So, crowd one comes out with the phone, the business, and what does that do? Well, that pulls in the people. And the people are coming in. Why? Because the people, this is pretty easy, you guessed it, the people are making money. It's there. Everybody's joining in. And the more money that's made, oh, and, well, dare I say, the more money that is made, the more products that are coming in, the more expansion that we have, the bigger we get the crowd power. And this is absolutely key to what is going on here. The bigger the power becomes, the bigger the crowd, the more power. The bigger the crowd, the more power. And the bigger it becomes, what do you really get? Oh, this is a good one. You get influence. Influence? Well, yeah. Think about it. If you got 25 million people in your club, are you saying to me you can't talk to businesses and get better deals for these people? Are you telling me that we're not going to get deals and services and VIP? Come on, guys, really? When you build influence, and the bigger the power goes, bigger the influence. Influence begins to find its way. Influence begins to work its magic. Influence begins to move things. And when you got influence, what do you really got? You got something called control. Control? Yeah. Watch how it works. I got airline company number 1 and airline company number 2. Okay, guys. So, I have crowd power. I got 10 million people in crowd 1. And next year, we are going to want to be flying around the world when things get better. Now, just stop for a minute. This is speculating. This is not crowd 1 policy. This is just me showing you a scenario of how the control kicks in. Airline company 1, airline company 2. So, we want deals. Now, 10 million aren't going to fly, but say 2 million will fly. So, who's going to give me a better deal? What are you going to give me? Oh, we'll give you 10% off. Pfft, no interest. What about you? We'll give you 12. 12? Are you kidding me? Guys, come on. Can we make it something bigger, please? And Swedish Airlines kick up. Oh, Swedish, what will you give us? We'll give you 25%. 25%? Wow, you got a deal. We're controlling the shots now. We're controlling. We're able to get you, the crowd, better benefits, better deals, better discounts, better VIP service. We're going to be able to give you so much more. Why? Because this crowd is getting huge, which gives us the influence that we need, which gives us the control. The one that controls the crowd has much to control. And when we get control, what are we really getting? What's next? Well, I'll show you what's next. You ready? We get to create new rules. New rules? Yeah. How does that work? I'll show you how it works. Can all the business people sit down, please? Yeah, grab a seat, grab a seat, grab a seat. You all good? Excellent. So now, How many millions do we have now? 90 million. Okay, so crowd one, we got 90 million people now. And we want to be able to give our 90 million people the best deals, the best service, everything. Nothing but the best. And you folks are going to be making offers to us. But we're going to create some new rules of doing business. If you want to be able to get to us to be able to give these folks what they want, we're going to lay out a whole new way of doing business. Some rules are going to change, where we're no longer coming hat in hand to you. You are now going to be coming to us. You are going to be offering us your best because you want a piece of the crowd power. And we will show the people, and the people will let us know who wins and who loses. So we're going to be rewriting a whole new batch of rules. See how it works? And what are you going to do? It's still fair. We're just taking the advantage from you, and we're giving it to us. We want better deals. We want better deals. We'd like better discounts. We want better service. Let's go, guys. Let's make it happen. Boom. This is really powerful. It's all coming. You following me? Now, what's really happening? Really happening? This. Most people are afraid of this. Most people will fight this tooth and nail. What the heck is this? You ready? Change. Pioneers eat change. They go. Let's go. Let's fly. Let's go. Let's sail. Let's do the mountain, the bottom of the ocean. Let's take it on. Let's try it. Most people don't want to do change. I'd rather just stay home drinking my tea, watching my TV show. Please, don't give me anything new. Don't challenge me. Can't I just have it all the way it's always been? Can't we just go back to the old status quo? Remember, you know, the progress, the trade. Can't we just do it all the way? Do we have to go into the whole digital? Do we have to learn? Do I have to learn? Do I have to do this? Really? Yeah. If you want to progress, because the world is changing anyway. We're evolving. But most people resist change. In fact, they have fear of change. Now, fear of change is very interesting because the truth about change, it's a double-edged sword. And right now, we're on this side of it. Fear of change. They just don't want to change. They'll fight tooth and nail. Fear, F-E-A-R. It's fake evidence appearing real. But in most cases, it's not real at all. But to them, it's real. To what? To the resistance. It's real. There's a lot of people that don't want change. There's a lot of people that fear change. They fear the fact that cryptocurrency is coming in. They fear the fact that the digital revolution is coming in. They fear the fact that the way things used to be, we're having to look at maybe changing things. There are massive establishments of power on planet Earth that just want things to stay the way they are. We print off the money, and you use it. We print it, you use it. Give us more paper. We print it, you use more paper. We print, you use more. All right, there we go. And now, a new reality is happening to where even they don't want to deal with it, but they have to look at it. But there's resistance. And resistance comes in a few packages. You ready? Bad press. Fake news, the haters, smearing campaigns. You're not who you say you are. Didn't you go out of business? You never wrote a book. You're just this. All of this lies. misinformation and lies. For example, the bad press, that newspaper that came out, what was it? This was sent to me this morning. Whoa, Crowd One, invest in Crowd One at your own risk. Should we look closer? Online firm under investigation in Norway. Didn't we cover that the last time? Yes, we did. Burundi government has closed its operations. Remember what I told you? We went through the investigation into Norway. We went through the whole investigation into Norway, and it was nothing. Why are they still promoting it, guys? Plus, the 300 people that were arrested, that were really 17 people, and really what it came down to was the Burundi government does not appreciate nor like the fact that Crowd One or any company is dealing in cryptocurrency. What's cryptocurrency? Digital money. But the blue headline, who created the headline? Who decided to put in that fake news and that old news and blend it together as an important news flash headline, which was all out of date and incorrect, to sell the message underneath that Crowd One was a scam? Well, that wasn't the reporter that put all that together. That's called the editor-in-chief of the newspaper. Okay, so who does the editor-in-chief of the newspaper work for? He works for these folks. And do these folks care whether or not there's truth or lies? Well, I think they would care. Did they say anything to him? Well, clearly they didn't, because he printed it. So he can get away with, oh, this news is really out of date, but if we mix it with this, oh, boom, we're going to convince everybody in our country that Crowd One is a scam. Why? It's legal in Europe. It's doing 170 countries legally. Why are we doing this? What's the plan? What's the plan, big guy? Well, the plan is we don't want people getting into Crowd One. But why? Because we don't want people getting into Crowd One. Okay. That's called resistance. That's called bad press. That's called fake news. That's called misinformation. That's called smearing. Haters? Yeah. Or people with an agenda. It's in the newspaper's interest to move the population away from Crowd One to wherever else. I don't know. But they're losing their power, and that creates haters, enemy, problems. This is the ugly side of it. However, change creates the other side of the sword, something absolutely wonderful. Now, come on, all you successful people out there. If resistance and fear of change is on one side, what do you think also comes out of change? What does change also give us? Come on, what's the bet? Anybody got any ideas? Let me hear. Did you say opportunity? Opportunity knocks when change appears. Most people never see the opportunity. They never hear the opportunity. They don't go near the opportunity. Why? Because fake evidence appearing real, man. Whoa, no. But to the pioneers, to the people that will get up and go up the mountains or go in a test flight, supersonic, to test pilots, to those people, they see opportunity. Now, what does opportunity bring us? Well, this is where we get to the gold. You ready? Opportunity, change creates opportunity to replace what is not working with something new that stimulates progress. Wow. Now this, our CEO, Mr. von Holstein, he did in Sweden, he did a news broadcast, an interview show. And they were asking him a few questions, and he was talking about the issue with Sweden way back during the time of the recession, the 2008 and getting into 2010, that all of the trouble the world was going through. Sweden had fallen into, it just became a quagmire of no progress. There was no real flow of trade. It was just there. And he was in a position, him and a few others, that were in the government. He was a member of the culture, in the culture department of the government, and his companies and people that he knew, they were in a position to be able to make change, which produced opportunity. They got things happening in Sweden that allowed the blockage to be cleared. And he says how Sweden became more vibrant. Money and trade started to flow again, and the country was saved. The country was saved. The country became better. This is what he does. This guy goes into areas and he wants change to happen so he can replace what's not working with stuff that is working. An entrepreneurial spirit kicks in. Progress begins. People step in and they participate, and ideas and thoughts, and boom, he begins to generate the progress. That's what he does. That's his other skill outside of building billion-dollar businesses. This is his other skill. But looky, maybe you're thinking, oh, did I miss something out? There he is. This is what he does. And look, here's his other skill. He understands something called disruptive innovation. Disruptive innovation. Okay, what the heck is that? What's disruptive innovation? The powers that be, that have been around for hundreds of years, monolithic powers that be, that are so used to doing what they do, they're experiencing something called disruptive innovation that shakes them up a little bit. Disruptive innovation is new ways of doing business outside of the power block that's been in place for hundreds of years. They can feel tremors from these upstarts known as the disruptive innovation crowd. But with cryptocurrency, with digital technology that's coming in, the status quo are beginning to realize we can't ignore this. We can't ignore this. We need to be able to find a way of working together. You see, in India, you know India, right? The country India. A few months ago, their Supreme Court said, you know what? We are going to allow cryptocurrency to be traded and so forth into our country. Prior to that, they would not allow cryptocurrency to be traded in their country. Absolutely not. Why? The government and the central bank, they didn't want it. The rest of the world, America, Canada, they were negotiating, working their way. It was becoming more real all over the world. India wouldn't budge. But somewhere in there, somewhere in the banking mind, when those bankers and those accountants and the best people that they got started to talk to other best people, and an understanding was this: guys, you can't avoid this. Disruptive innovation is coming. The whole digital thing is happening. You cannot avoid this. You have to be able to bend and work and negotiate and find your way of getting in. Otherwise, you're going to end up getting left behind. And somehow they did. And everybody signed off on it, and India, Supreme Court, approves, and everybody's trading. Everybody's buying and selling now. We're all doing great. Because the key players that wouldn't move, they got shook. And they realize this can't be avoided. So let's make a deal. Boom, deal made. This forces people to think. This forces people, forces the establishment to realize there's new players. And von Holstein is one of these new players. And guess what else? Disruptive innovation, he comes through with disruptive technology. Disruptive technology. We got the innovation of disruptive innovation, but now the technology, the means of understanding cryptocurrency. What does he call it? He calls it, in one of his speeches, he says about the gig economy. The new way is going to be the gig economy, where everybody, it's all broken down into microtransactions. It's not being controlled by one bank. A whole new way of doing business. This guy specializes in this. This guy builds the billion-dollar companies. He's the IT visionary. This guy specializes in this. And when he sees all of what's happening, this guy, he shows you this. What he's really doing, where he's really going to go, is here. He's going to create new markets, because that's what he does. Look, he's come across something so unique. He's got the company where they're able to, they've got the business, they've got it up and going. They're bringing in products, boom, boom, boom. It's all moving in a nice direction. The crowd is getting bigger than ever before. This guy can say, wow, with all of this, we could change everything. We could change everything, and we could create an opportunity of creating new markets, new avenues of trade. New avenues of trade where people didn't even realize we can create new avenues of trade. That's what he specializes in. That's what he's doing. So what are going to be these new avenues of trade? Well, in the year 2000, I was in New York City, and I was presenting a pitch. I was pitching a vision to 8 New York City bankers. The vision was something called broadband. Now this is 2000. And I said to them, so broadband is going to be able, it's online, it's the internet, it's broadcasting. And I told them and showed them the power of broadcast from the broadcasting from the radio in the 1930s, and how it affected the world. And then I showed them the power of television broadcasting and how that affected the world. And I showed them the effects of cinema and how that had its impact. And I talked to them broadcasting, broadband, on the internet, out to millions of people, out to entire populations, movies, television, broadcasting, films, boom, boom, boom. And they looked, and to my dismay, they couldn't see the vision. And I was like, wow. And I remember saying something along these lines. So let me understand this. I have here in this beautiful hotel room 8 New York City bankers. And between all of you, the truth is you probably own a quarter of the United States of America. And with that comes all of the advisors, the best advisors in the world, the best thinkers, the best strategists, the best. at your disposal. And are you seriously telling me that with all your wealth, all your capital, all your assets, all the best advisors that your wealth could bring in, and nobody, as in nobody, has enlightened you on the power of broadcasting, the power of broadband? Guys, you have seriously got to be kidding me. No, they didn't get it. They had no vision. True story. Oh, 4 years later, YouTube was born. They had vision, but the 8 bankers couldn't see past the spectacles on their nose. Nothing. Lost. True story. So, to create the new markets, we've got to have a vision. So now, let me show you this. Now this, we're going to go from here, but I want to show you. This you know. We're going to now go into the crowd 1, which we're aware of. And we're going to know the crowd, which we know about the crowd. It's a whole new perspective now. Stay with me. And we're going to go to the CEO. And in this little space, we mix this together. And the crowd 1, the company, the leadership, the crowd, the people, the men, the women, all of them, and the CEO that's guiding the ship in that direction. When they all work together, they create this. So, take a look. Crowd 1, with the crowd, with the CEO, have created the space, created the energy, created the vibration, the resonance, this space to where all races, all peoples united under one common cause to make a better life for themselves. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. I think I know what you might be thinking, or some of you. Chris, man, you're overdoing it. This is a multi-level marketing stuff, man. It's a company. This is not what you're saying. 2 things. Remember, I'm telling you a story. But let's ground it just a tad. One reality is, and with all due respect, if that's how you're seeing it, then you're lacking vision, with all due respect. He has put 10 years of his life into crowd 1, meaning, see, he knows the owner, Mr. Eric Werner. They know each other. And there's been plenty of times where they've sat, obviously, to discuss business. They've also relaxed and discussed life. The problems, the solutions, potential solutions. They've discussed many things. And they've learned to know each other over the years. So, with him making his business decision of bringing this guy in, and him knowing how he thinks and his specialties, they know where they're going. The question is, are they able to get there? They know where they're going. So, with his specialties in stepping in and creating new markets, where this crowd can flourish, and I mean flourish, it's very doable. If these guys get it right, it is very, very doable. But let's go one little, let's go to the center core here. When they do their broadcasting, which they did, what, 3 weeks ago? Remember the magic show? Boom, here we are, crowd 1, our first live event, all across the world, multiple languages, doing the magic show, while we're also introducing new products, new services. Here we are. that was the first time they'd really sent out the signal, bing, that crowd one is here. Crowd one is alive. Crowd one's going nowhere. Today, we're broadcasting magic show. Tomorrow, we're broadcasting movies, TV, documentaries, shows, specials, how-tos, whatnots, and everything coming at you 24/7. Where did they get all this material from? Hello? The crowd. The crowd are going to be a part of the creative process. They're going to be giving their ideas. Look, when I'm on the phone, all the people sending me messages, and I'm back and forth to so many of these crowd one people, there is an excitement in the air. In my team alone, it has to be all the other teams, there is an excitement. There is ideas. There's a flow of ideas, a flow of electricity going on from people to people to people. People are getting ideas. They're coming up with new things, new ways of doing this, adding that. Could you imagine 25 million, 30 million, 40 million people, and crowd one is able to broadcast? Can you imagine the participation, grassroots participation from these people? They will be contributing, participating, getting involved, recommending. It's going to flourish like a botanical gardens of all races, colors, together, blooming. Do I really believe it? Absolutely. Yeah. When you look at the little telltale little signs of where they've been going, what they've been launching, and you look at how this crowd is just resonating towards them, and you look at the leadership and his specialties of where, do you honestly think he's going into all of this to create Saturday Night Lotto? Every Saturday night, this is the height of our existence? Tick, 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 tick. Bing, number 7, you win 40,000 euros, you lucky people. No, that's one tiny piece of a whole movement that is going to create markets that this crowd, you, are going to be flourishing in. For a better life. I kid you not. Now, I'm going to go to my next board. And it's got 3 very powerful wows that are going to get you drooling and filled with excitement. Are you ready? Let's check it out. Okay. This then is the main event. Now pay attention. I got 3 wows. It's all good news. If we get this right, in a nutshell, what is this series, these next few episodes coming out, what is it going to be about? To be clear,